Good morning, everybody. It's me, Paddy, from across the shock, and what I have before you this morning for review is probably one of the best work knives I have ever used or handled. To be honest, that's how good I think this knife is. I think it's amazing, really good knife, budget, but without any budget features. How does that go? That's getting to be us. We're saying that more and more now because this is just a fabulous knife. It's genuinely nearly faultless for what it is and what it's supposed to be. This is a CH knife, which is another Chinese company that have been around quite a while now, and their knives have been of great quality. Love them knives. Great channel, by the way. Please go and see him. He's been showing CH knives longer than nearly anybody I know on YouTube, and he has always rated them. I'm just starting to get my hands on them now, and to be honest with you, this has blown me away. As I was trying to find knives that I could relate it to, that I could put it beside and think, no, that's a good. So you'll see later on how highly I think of this knife. Now, it's a big knife. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just a skosh under 8.5 inches, but as all intents and purposes, 8.5 inches long. It is, in them metric ones for European friends, about 21 centimetres with a blade length of 9 centimetres or 3.5 inches. So it's a real good working blade, and that blade length is nearly all cutting edge, as you can see there, so really handy. This is probably the only thing that I'm going to say about this, and it's not a downside. This is quite weighty. I'm going to show you the measurement of it now. Oh, just lost one of my wee magnets. I'll show you the measurement of it, or what weight it is now. We're in grams there, and it is 152 grams, which must be somewhere, I was going to say 5.3 ounces. That is a chunky monkey. You know, that is a heavy knife compared to an awful lot of knives we're seeing at the minute. 5.3 ounces, but this is a work knife. This is not pretending to be a fancy everyday carry knife. This is not what I would carry as an EDC knife. As you can see on this handle, you know, even the handle itself, let's get it at the sort of thickest part. It's 3 centimetres, 1.25, nearly 1.25 inches, just the handle. Do you know what I mean? The blade depth is the same again. It's 3 centimetres, 1.25 inches, roughly. What is she across the spine? She is, I'm trying to get this up there for you. She's 4mm thick, which is 1, 2, 3/8, just under 3/8, 4mm thick. I mean, that is, you know, a real good chunky blade. And to be honest with you, as a working knife, sorry, did I do across the back? I did not. I'm just going to try her across the back. I've not measured this myself, so this is, my gosh, it's over 1/2 inch. It's 5/8, and it is coming about 13 millimeters. So that's a solid blade, full stop. That is just a working blade. That is not an everyday carry. 5.3 inches to me is not particularly heavy. When I put this in jeans, you know, it's a big knife. You do know it's there. But it is a big knife, and that weight is spread so well. When you hold this in hand, it is just so elegant. It's, you know, for a big lump of a knife. Now, what's this show? Once you get over that detent, let me just show you. This is on bearings. How sweet is that? That shoots out with no effort, minimal effort, and closes like that. Perfect detent. It is just so well made. You know, a work knife on bearings. It has got, I'll just show you, there's the markings. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? They've really not over billboarded it whatsoever. It's a CH3504 in G10. And this is some of the grippiest G10 I have ever used. It's got a nice pocket clip. It's not fully deep, but, you know, there's that sticking up above your pocket. You know, it's not much. And this is a work knife, so you don't really care. Lovely decorative pivot, which for a work knife there's no need to do, but they've gone ahead and done it. It is D2 steel, and it has been verified. CH has had their, love them knives, had CH tested, and it's come back good D2. There you go. But in my testing, it seems like it's D2 anyway. Do you know what I mean? It cuts well, holds a good edge, and sharpens back relatively easy. There's nothing drastic about it. But look, listen, this is something that if you are an outdoor and you work at a building site, you're a joiner, you want just a good pocket knife, this is perfect. If you've got a big yard and you work out in your yard, perfect. Compare it to other knives. Okay, here's the typical, everybody's going to compare it to, there you go. There's the PM2. Near enough the same size, a wee bit smaller, blade size just a bit, there's more cutting edge, a bit more cutting edge, that's it, but it's very, very similar. If I hold that up, you'll see the cutting edge. It's very similar. There's not that much difference in it, but this is bigger. Look at the back of that knife. That is one heck of a difference in strength at the tip. So this, to me, the PM2 is a beautiful knife, and it's a great work knife. It's better steel, it's CPM S30V, this is D2, but that blade is just a high grind, a high flat grind that is just solid. Just solid. It, you know, for digging in, for doing anything you want to do that's rough and rugged. Here's another knife, let's put it beside. This is a bigger knife. I'm going to put them side by side, as in, it is the same blade length as the Rat 1. The handle on the Rat 1's a little bit bigger, but it's always been a big handled knife, the Rat 1. But this is by no means short, let me tell you, and this is much more. I believe it's more comfortable in this because of the girth of it, the thickness. It's just a lovely big blade to get your hand on for working. So what else have I got? That's sort of, here's another one. Here's a budget offering to go with this budget knife. Now this knife is cheaper, and this is a Ganzo and 440C, which, you know, granted is not as good a blade steel as D2, but it's still a work knife. Look how equal they are. Look how equal the blade sizes are. So this one is cheaper than this one. Do you want to know how much that one is today if you go on Gearbest? Go on Gearbest and use my link, because that lets them know that, you know, if you want one, use the link that I put in my in the description box. It lets them know that you're buying through our channel, and it gives our channel more of a buy-in rate from Gearbest. Please, if you would. So this today is £22. That's about $25 from Gearbest. It does take a while to get to you, but to pay that price for a knife with these materials, the build quality, I mean, let's go down to the very basics. Look at the way that is ground. Look at that grind. Can you see that? How lovely that grind is in that knife. Look at that, and then look at the other side. It's near enough a mirror of the other side. It is so well ground. It cuts so well. That's a really grippy handle. Lovely, lovely torque screw. It's got the lanyard hole at the back. It's got the sort of half of an infill there at the back, G10, which is raised and meant to be. It's sculptured that way. So it's easy enough to clean. You can get in there. It's a liner lock. It is on early, which is what you want in a new knife. It's not too early that you're worried about it. There is no movement up, down, sideways, any way you want. And I have used this. So, I mean, this gets the full Paddy recommendation. The CH3504. A heavy, it's 5 ounces, 5.3 ounces, it's heavy. It's got a big blade, it's got a big handle, and it will do any task that you would want a folding knife to do, bar none. I wouldn't be afraid to do anything with this knife. And for $25, $26, £22 delivered, it's just unbelievable. This PM2, and I believe the blade on that is better than the PM2 for really, really hard work. The PM2 in my mind, yes, it's a great knife, and yes, it can do an awful lot of work, but that, you would not be afraid to pry, poke or pull with that. I'd be a little bit afraid, not a lot, but a little bit more afraid to do it with this than I would be in that, because if I broke that, it would only cost me $25 to get a new one. It would cost me 140 or something, 130 for a new PM2, a basic PM2. No, don't want to pay that, so I'll buy that every time. Ganzo, which are knives I love, that's cheaper. Or, sorry, not cheaper. The Ganzo is a little bit cheaper, and you're getting about the same size and the same sort of blade as the CH, but it is 440C, which is, to me, a brilliant steal anyway. But it's only another couple of pounds, and you get D2 and bearings. Well, this is bearings anyway, but I mean, this is just a beautiful knife. I would definitely recommend this if you want a work knife and you're not too frightened of 5 ounces, which, let's be honest, if you're going to work outside your hand, you're not going to worry about 5 ounces. It's a 4.5 out of 5 if you want something. It's just a gorgeous knife. I was blown away by how good it was and how easy and nice it is to use in the cutting process. I'm going to show one more knife as a comparison to it, but only because I want to show off. Look at that beauty! A GEC 44, and it's the gun stock, and I just got this in a trade with my mate Furby. It's the Titty model, and it is just stunning. Stunning! And look at this. GEC even named the knife after me. Look at that. Paddy's potato peelers. Isn't that awful nice of GEC? I just think that's marvellous. So, we'll have a review of that coming up. So that's me done and away. Great knife, fully backed by Paddy's guarantee that this is one of the best I've ever tested as a work knife. If you want a hard use knife, that's the boy to get. $25. Don't think it can be beaten. And if you can, let me see the knife that's going to beat it. Take care, all the best. I'm away for a wee cup of tea. Bye bye now. Bye.